I'm at a coffee shop and I'm trying to practice being the person I want to become.
I know this already sounds cheesy, but hear me out.
It's December, it's the weekend, and still I took a shower, put my best clothes on, and went outside to work on something of my own. It's that super sleek guy I saw once. I'm waiting in line and I see him shaved, groomed, and I'm kind of amazed by how he takes meticulous care in crafting his appearance. I can tell that whatever he's working on his laptop, he's doing well. I don't have the courage to randomly approach him. What am I even going to ask? But one thing I do know for certain, some time ago when he was younger, he was just like me, not all measured and polished, but work in progress.
And this is what makes the difference. Will I allow myself to change, or will I just remain the person that everyone I grew up around knows me as? Practice till you make it.
That's how Vin Zhang, who was once a shy, rejected person, became this inspirational keynote speaker that's renowned for teaching communication. And now, I realize that I'm going to make this a routine, because if something is not a routine, I will eventually forget about it. Cool Guy Winter, practicing the part of me that I want to develop.
I promise this is not going to get more cringy.
I'm reading this book called Shoe Dog. It's about Phil Knight, the creator of Nike. And early on, I'm reading this sentence that gave me goosebumps. So that morning in 1962, I told myself, let everyone else call your idea crazy. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't even think about stopping until you get there. And don't give much thought to where there is. Whatever comes, just don't stop. Later on, he adds, half a century later, I believe it's the best advice, maybe the only advice any of us should ever give. And actually, inside, I never felt that there is another option. So it's time. On the weekend, get a good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, shower, groom yourself, and begin. Get outside, design the life that you want, and build it. Make a plan to create what you deeply want. Whether it's career, personal, or business goals, you can hear it from those who have done the hardest things during times when it was much riskier. No internet, let alone smartphones. And it's not only Phil Knight saying this. When you read Napoleon Hill's work, you realize that John Rockefeller, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford all said the same.
Now, you might not be living in New York City to have so many places to choose from, but wherever you are, you will have a coffee shop, a lounge, a bookstore, a library, a shared work environment to give you a new atmosphere and take you out from the distractions at your regular desk.
But here's my secret. Sometimes I just feel like shit. Sometimes everything can feel so difficult and unattainable. But that's okay. It's a feeling. It's something that comes and goes. And when it does happen, I write them, process them. It's an interesting exercise because I discover so much. I go into the rabbit hole until I realize that they all come simply from fears. A fear of failing or being judged. And it's amazing because when I realize that, once I understand where it comes from, something switches. Those feelings become more like fuel that's thrown into the fire because that confirms I'm doing something that's beyond my current ability. That's what growing is, and it makes it clear to me, especially in those moments, to not even think about stopping. When you take your laptop and go outside to do this, be careful not to make it a part of a plan, but the plan itself. Go outside exactly to do this, like a work date you're taking yourself to. If you make this part of going out to do other things as well, you will end up being carried away. Doing this with friends is cool, so long while you do this, you don't end up talking for hours instead. But you can also end up distracting yourself as well, because if you still don't know where to start, there are endless possibilities. And this is both good and bad. You do have lots of things you can do, but it's also about pursuing one thing when you're struggling, and it feels much easier to jump onto other options instead. So that's your first task. First weekend morning, you take yourself out to some cozy place you could sit down at. You figure out your definite chief aim. Napoleon Hill defines it in his book Think and Grow Rich. A definite chief aim is a clear and specific goal or purpose that an individual sets for themselves, to which they have a burning desire and unwavering commitment to that chief aim. And you're not going to find it by reading. You will be inspired by reading, it will add to it, but you're not going to find that unwavering thing. For that, you would need to write about yourself, your life, what you want, why you want, something meaningful, not just a fancy house or a car. Go a level beyond. Maybe you want freedom, but what does that mean to you? What would you do? What is something you wish to master, some craft that will benefit others? You will be mind blown once you go down the rabbit hole that is you. And we have such a bad understanding of how you need to figure yourself out. When I graduated, I always heard people saying to try things and eventually you will land on something you're passionate about. But that's so wrong. Unless you're lucky, that won't happen because you're just trying the few things that you can try out of so many options. To find that thing, you need to write about yourself and go through the rabbit hole. And then you can also read about or watch people who have done those things. And at that point, you're not just inspired by someone, but you're consuming their story or work or advice from a creator's perspective. And you're learning from them what you will need to do. Once you do find that out, you're going to feel it's too complicated or out of your reach. But that's good. That's exactly the feeling you're looking for. You need to do more things that make you feel that way, because that's how you know that you're operating at your limit and slowly increasing it. This winter, make it a routine and just don't stop. You got this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.